Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today, guys, we are talking about this post that was made on Twitter by BobDuckNWeave. And if you don't know who BobDuckNWeave is, he's a fantastic graphic designer and streamer. He's done a bunch of different media kits for different creators that I've seen. Really impressive stuff. I'm going to link all of his things in the description below. But let's take a look at this post because it is a fascinating one. This is something worth talking about. He tweets, here's the snapshot of what I made on ad revenue on one of my best months on Twitch in April 2022 versus one of my best streams on YouTube. And you can see here 30 days of streaming on Twitch. He had 100% unskippable ads, 4 hours and 18 minutes of ad breaks, 90 hours of streaming, where he earned $30.58 in ad revenue. That compares to his best, mind you, his single best stream on YouTube, where he earned $89.68. Almost 3 times as much from a single stream versus an entire month. And you'll see his hour time here. Stream time was 8 hours and 9 minutes, which is about 10 times less than what he did on Twitch. And his total ad break time was 10 minutes, which again, comparatively is significantly less. What is that a factor of? 24? Something like that. Anyways, and you see here he had 23,790 views, and 4,700 of those were post-stream. So that is an important piece of context here. So the question becomes, how is this even possible? How can you earn more in ad revenue on a single stream on YouTube than you do for an entire month of ad revenue on Twitch? And there's a couple different things that we have to talk about here that we have to mention that does provide some context and explain this a little bit better. First and foremost, it's important to recognize that Twitch is never going to be better than YouTube at ads. It's never going to happen. This is just kind of a prime example of that. If I wanted to advertise on YouTube today, I'd go to youtube.com, advertising, and then I'd click on Start Now. And immediately it's going to ask me for my account. This is a canceled account of mine. I don't use it anymore, so it's fine if you guys see the information on it. And immediately, here you go. I'm in. Drive views. Pick the video that I want. Sure, let's promote this video. And now I get to choose regions where I want it to play. Now I get to choose locations where I want it to play. I get to see my estimated impressions, estimated views. And in fact, when you go on this, you can actually narrow it down to specific regions. You basically have full control over what you want to do. Let me compare that to Twitch advertising. This is Twitch's advertising site. Talks about what you can do here, advertising. And you go, hey, how do I actually start advertising here? None of these things actually lead to it. So let's say you wanted to advertise, you click on contact. Want to advertise on Twitch? Let's chat. Now I have to fill out my name, my company, phone number, my country, budget. And your budget starts at less than $50,000. If you're budgeting less than $50,000 for your ads, they're probably not going to prioritize you versus somebody who's got $1 million or more. Again, compared to literally here, I can pay 2 cents per view on my video that I want to promote. The reality is YouTube is always going to be better at ads, and Twitch is never going to be able to compete with YouTube's ability to put ads in front of faces who want to see those ads. It's just not going to happen. And as such, CPM rates, as such, all over ad rates on Twitch are probably going to be lower than they are on YouTube. So that brings us to the most important part of where people make money on Twitch, and that is fan funding. YouTube and has tried to add some additional fan funding features to compete with Twitch and to try to inspire that kind of supportive community to YouTube. But Twitch kind of has that established in the DNA of the site. Before Twitch even had subscriptions, there were people that were actively supporting content they enjoyed from creators they enjoyed through things like PayPal. And so the amount of money that you can make while you're live on YouTube is probably going to be, as it relates to total revenue, 90% versus Twitch, where this is probably over the course of the month the money that you're going to make in terms of ad revenue overall versus fan funding, this is probably 10%. So it's kind of an inverse relationship. Now, in the long run, maybe YouTube can figure that out and they can actually inspire and establish that community of supporting content that you actually enjoy, but it's not quite there yet. And one of the things that I want to point out in that, because we do have some data that can kind of support that, this is Playboard, and they actually kind of show here super chats. And we have a yearly recap of all super chats that have been tracked on YouTube. And we see that iShowSpeed earned $1 million. He is the top American, at least, that has earned money through super chats in the last year. So that's all of 2022 combined. A little further down, we have Dr. Disrespect at 558,000. A little further down from that, Tim the Tatman, 257,000. I do want to go back to Dr. Disrespect here, though, because I think it is a particularly valuable comparison point that we can look at here. $558,000 was earned from Super Chats on YouTube. While it is $500,000 earned from Super Chats, we can actually compare that to something on Twitch. And if you guys remember the big leak that occurred back in 2021, we do have some information here that says, despite making the move to YouTube, Dr. Disrespect name still appeared in the Twitch leak. In a discussion of the leak numbers, one fan said Doc earned $2.8 million from August 2019 onwards, bearing in mind that he was banned in June of 2020. So that is a little bit out of date, but the context of that leak is particularly important. Because as I said, when you look at these numbers, this might be $90, might be 90% of your revenue from that stream, from streaming, because things like Super Chats and memberships are not as highly used as they are on Twitch. We can actually do some extrapolation from that leak to find out how creators earn money on Twitch. And so this is 2021 Twitch creator earnings. So keep in mind, it is a year and a half out of date at this point. I think the data ended in September when the leak occurred. And we can see here, sub share gross revenue, 58% of all creator earnings. Bit share gross, 18% of all creator earnings. Prime subs make up 14%, and ad share, keep in mind 2021, 7.9% of all earnings come from ads, and this is across the entire platform in 2021 leading up to the point of the leak. That's a particularly interesting stat to take a look at. So whereas if you took a look at YouTube, and again, we don't have that data, but most creators who are YouTubers might be able to take a look at this, and they'll probably see that their ad revenue is probably a much bigger portion of the overall puzzle. If they're live creators, it might actually even be bigger than that, quite frankly. It might be 75% of their total income. Versus fan funding, which is probably smaller. Whereas with Twitch, ads make up only a very, very, very small percentage of overall creator earnings. Now, in 2022, Twitch did launch the ad incentive program and the 55% ad split as long as you ran 3 minutes of ads using the ad scheduler. Terrible system. So maybe this number has increased somewhat, but overall, the vast majority of money that creators are going to make on Twitch is going to be fan funding. The reality is, if you're not posting VOD content on YouTube, you're missing out on a absolutely fantastic opportunity to potentially make a lot of money. That's the takeaway here. And to kind of hammer that home, I want to go to BobDuckNWeave's channel here because I did find the video that he's talking about here. World's first race, Cloning Labs in the Winter Soldier, Marvel's Avenger. He's got a great thumbnail. He's got a great title, World's First. That's going to obviously inspire people to click on things. And then when you do go into this video, when I first joined, I got hit with an ad. And so because people on YouTube are used to getting ads, I clicked skip, or I sat through the 15-second that I could not skip. And then I was like, okay, let me kind of scroll through this content and take a look at it. So maybe it's not maybe it's not encouragement to post all of your VODs to YouTube, but maybe there's also no downside and significant downside in doing so. My takeaway remains the same. Stream on Twitch, post VOD content on YouTube, and probably post shorts on both YouTube and TikTok, especially now with YouTube coming out with shorts monetization. And with that, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this information. Does this change your perception of YouTube versus Twitch? And does it encourage you to maybe start posting more frequently, or maybe even try streaming on YouTube just to see what ends up happening? So yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.